Joe Wilson's driving me crazy. How crazy? This crazy. When I learned last night that my congressman was the guy who yelled out, "You lie," at the President of the United States as he addressed a joint session of Congress, it actually occurred to me, you know what? I ought to run for Congress. I mean, this is awful that we're represented this way. And you know, it's easy to dismiss what Joe did as being, some kind of function of original sin. This is what happens when you go to Washington and you get balled up in all this partisan garbage. It turns you into this. It makes you behave this way. But you know what? I think it's possible for an adult to resist that, to rise above it, to be better than that. And, it occurred to me maybe I should be that adult. Later in the evening, when I found out that Rob Miller apparently raised just ungodly amounts of money, some people say 80,000, some say 100,000. I don't know what the actual number is. But the fact is, this guy, who was a very weak opponent that Joe Wilson had in the last election, that people would be turning to him to say, here, go do it again, it just kind of underlines that there's a vacuum. There's a vacuum of leadership in the 2nd District. I don't know who's going to fill it. I don't want to go to Washington. I don't want to be a part of that, even if I'm there to resist it. I don't want to do that. But you know what? Somebody who's serious about policy, somebody who's serious about the deliberative process, who believes that, we've got to get busy and pull together to try to save this experiment in self-government that is the glory of America. Somebody who believes in those things, somebody who's capable of living up to them, needs to run. Maybe Joe will turn around and become that person. Maybe Rob Miller will suddenly transform into the dynamic candidate that he certainly was not in the last election. But I'm not encouraged right now. I don't know what the answer is, but somebody needs to offer us one. I don't want it to be me. I really don't want it to be me. But it needs to be somebody.